fresh out of the building, and we need to stop. I don't want the cough drop.
All right, ALSD, we are pulling out of the parking lot of Texas Motor Speedway. So literally seconds out the door. Jared, what's sticking with you, man?
Yeah, literally seconds. That was a dynamite visit. Touched on, I guess, really three main areas. The first being this Business Acceleration Club that they started about a year ago. And we've seen iterations of these types of B2B clubs pop up throughout the industry in the last few years. But in this one, having that physical space, that physical hospitality space, and the race day components, as well as some of the 365 doing business summits with guest speakers and things of that nature. But one thing that really stood out is the decor of this physical club.
Yeah, I loved how cozy it was. Like, it felt disarming. And that's what you want to foster people letting their guard down and forming relationships or striking up conversation in a spot like that.
Cozy is actually a pretty good word. It was very inviting. Some of the spaces that you see across the venue marketplace with crystal chandeliers, and those are beautiful and they serve their purpose, and they serve their purpose well. But that's just not what this club is. This club is meant to be fostering of open dialogue and networking amongst local businesses. I think that's also worth mentioning, is it's not meant for Fortune 500 national brands, although they can certainly get value out of it, and in some cases do. It is targeted more for that smaller, mid-sized business that's local to the DFW market, and fostering those relationships. So
well, that's what Jason was saying. He's like, who knows 65 people off the top of their head to just invite, unless you're a big business and you have a list like that. If you're a single event coordinator and you're trying to put something together for a small to medium-sized business,
right,
you have to have something to accommodate that as well.
We also saw the Busch Restart Bar, which was interesting. Repurposing fixed seating into a social destination, that viewing deck experience. They did a nice job of creating an indoor-outdoor space. You go to a motorsports event and you get kind of loud.
Yeah.
And so you have an opportunity to be out in the elements, be out there in the grit of the event and feel that energy. That's all part of it, but if you want to escape and have a private conversation, you can do that as well. That really leads into the third thing that we talked about, and that is continuing the reinvestment in the building with similar spaces. And they have a project in the pipeline that will be constructed around turn 1. The geometry of this particular track, that's a very exciting area. A lot of action and passing and potential crashes occur there. So seems to be an appetite for that part of the track, and activating it and programming it with this new social area, which is consistent with what we see across the industry. It doesn't matter if it's a ballpark or a stadium or an arena or a racetrack. Texas Motor Speedway is facing the same challenges as American Airlines Center or Globe Life Park or AT&T Stadium here in this market, and they're attacking it and solving some of those pain points in a similar way.
Well, I thought it was interesting too. As you and I were pulling in here this morning, before we got out to film, we were looking at the sheer size of the property and talking about wondering how do they activate the space outside of their main events. And what was it Jason said they do? Hundreds.
Oh yeah,
of
it was like
events
900.
Like
I don't know how that's
events.
possible. That's like 3 a day.
But I mean, they've got the facility and the space to do it, so why not?
Right. And those groups aren't going to cross wires because it is so vast. So they can accommodate multiple groups on the same day, and they have the infrastructure to support the catering and the service for those groups. And perhaps I shouldn't be, perhaps it's just ignorance, but I was pretty blown away by the volume of events. That covers the trip well, and it was a great start to the week.
Absolutely. On to the next one.